I am such an awesome guy. I make so many videos.
Hello there, Price of Reason here with a special report. In 2021, Disney released its Hawkeye series on Disney+, and while some people may have enjoyed it, many others, myself included, thought it was extremely disappointing overall. Initially billed as an action-packed MCU show starring Jeremy Renner in his Avengers Hawkeye role, the show ended up actually being more about Kate Bishop, a little girl who was a better Hawkeye than Hawkeye himself. But of course, one girl boss wasn't enough for Disney on that show, so they added 2 additional girl bosses to the mix. Florence Pugh as Yelena, the sister of Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, and Alakwa Cox as Maya Lopez, aka Echo, a Native American deaf amputee girl who controls the Russian mob. Yeah, don't think about it. It also turns out that Maya is the adopted daughter of Kingpin, Wilson Fisk, who actually shows up in this Hawkeye series, only to get beaten up by Kate Bishop and then shot by Echo. Yes, that's right. That stupid Hawkeye show brought back one of the best villains ever seen on screen in history, only to have him humiliated by not 1 but 2 little girls. Anyhow, after the Hawkeye show aired, Disney was still in its strange streaming euphoria phase, so they greenlit a spin-off show starring Alakwa Cox as Echo. Now before we go any further, I'd like to point out that I have nothing against this actress. Considering the challenges that she's faced in her life, I can appreciate that she chose a difficult career path and was able to secure an on-screen acting role. For me though, as usual, the problem is actually more of a Disney problem. You see, in an effort to present themselves as both benevolent and diverse, as usual, they forgot the most important ingredient, the writing of her character on Hawkeye. Personally, I was not at all impressed with how she was introduced in the Hawkeye series, and if that show's goal was to get us excited about the character and a spin-off, it failed miserably. Now to be fair, this is a character that actually does exist in the comic book source material, but presenting a character like this in a solo show, especially a deaf one, requires a certain amount of creative finesse, which is something that Disney has a major shortage of these days. If you had told me that somebody like Breaking Bad creator and showrunner Vince Gilligan was producing this show, and also had creative freedom to do so, I think he probably would have done a decent job. After all, he's no stranger to giving us unique characters, even ones that speak very little or don't even speak at all. To Disney's credit, for a change, they seem to have been thinking in the right direction, which is probably why they appointed one of Gilligan's Better Call Saul writers, Marion Dayre, to be the show's head writer. Normally, I would say that this was possibly even a good decision, but from what we've seen in recent years from Disney, even when they do hire talented people, they tend to suppress their talent rather than to showcase it. Look no further than Doctor Strange 2, where they hired the iconic director Sam Raimi, only to then sabotage his work by making him reshoot 80% of his already completed movie. Needless to say, that movie ended up being barely watchable, and while it was profitable, that was only because it was billed as a follow-up to Sony's successful Spider-Man No Way Home. Anyhow, I haven't talked about this new Echo show much on this channel because I had suspected that it wouldn't be very good, and judging by some trade articles that I've seen in recent days, it appears that my suspicions may have been confirmed. According to Variety, Echo will release on Disney Plus on November 29th, 2023, and as opposed to all the Disney Plus shows until now, all the episodes of the Echo series will be released on the same day. Since this has never happened on Disney before, and the second season of Loki is going to be week to week just like the previous one, I tend to think that Disney don't have much faith in this new Echo series. After all, with so few offerings Disney have these days and amidst financial issues and a writer's strike, you'd think that they would roll out this thing gradually. Generally speaking, when you have a good show on your hands, having this kind of word-to-mouth and hype build up the show week after week like on HBO's House of the Dragon is overall good at building momentum and just making the show even stronger. Instead, by releasing it all at once, I tend to think that Disney are trying to avoid another Miss Marvel type of fiasco. If you recall, that show was billed as a breakthrough for diversity and inclusion, but beyond the likable casting of Miss Marvel herself, that show very much looked and felt like a cheap CW show. As a result, its ratings were rather poor as well, and they continued to decline week after week. By releasing Echo all in one day, Disney can actually improve their Nielsen numbers, at least during that week of release, showing that they had a lot of viewed minutes for a brief time period. The reason for that is whoever sticks around and watches the whole thing upon its release during the first few days will create an illusion of success for Disney based on the combined added viewing minutes. The only catch is, as opposed to shows like Cobra Kai and Stranger Things, I highly doubt the show will have any kind of long-term Nielsen rating staying power. But for Disney, anything that doesn't have people mocking them online for 6 consecutive weeks, whatever criticism and or praise they may receive, will happen fast. Now some of you may be thinking, how do you know the show isn't going to be any good? It is rumored to feature appearances from both Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin and Charlie Cox as Daredevil. Well, as we've already seen with Disney Plus, until now they haven't really done these characters any justice, and I don't necessarily think that will change moving forward. In any case, when the show does come out, I will give it a fair chance, and if it's good, I will say that it's good. I have no problem saying that I'm wrong, and if that's really the case, I'll be the first to admit it. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Are you excited about the upcoming Echo series on Disney Plus? Feel free to let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel and also clicking on that wonderful notification bell. Thanks for watching, my friends. Thank you, and good day.
I am such an awesome guy. I make so many videos. Brum.